episodes, ladies and gentlemen. Hello and welcome back after a little unintended extended break to Rimworld and Northeast Miskatonic. Now, the first thing I'd like to do is, first of all, explain the delay between episodes, and I think I alluded to this in the previous episode. Things at work are quite hectic at the moment. We've still got cases of COVID-19 in the house. Obviously, I've made a full recovery, as we know, which is good, but recently the wife had it. She's also made a full recovery, I'm thankful to say, and then 2 of the children also had it, and again, glad to say they've also made full recoveries and are now all back at school or back at work in the case of the wife, respectively, so that's all well and good. But as you can imagine, that's been eating into the time, along with, like I said, all the dramas that I've got to contend with at work outside of my normal work duties, so things are quite full on at the moment, or they have been at least, but they show signs of settling down now, so I'm hoping we can get into a more regular recording and uploading schedule. The other thing I'd like to mention is, obviously, we had the prize giveaway announced in the previous episode, and I'm delighted to say that the winner who was selected at random is Mark Roney. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop my email address for my YouTube account onto the screen now. If you just want to drop me a quick email there, and we'll sort out a way for me to get the game and the DLC your way, whether that's done via Steam or some other method, whichever's most suitable for yourself. I'm sure we'll be able to figure something out. So congratulations to you, Mark. I hope you enjoy the game and the DLC. I must say it's one of my favourite games of all time. It's just got so much replayability, and all the mods that you can get just make it amazing, and it's never a dull moment in Rimworld, although right now with everybody asleep it is fairly dull. So congratulations everybody else who entered. Obviously, I offer my sincere commiserations, but as I said, if you saw the Transport Fever 2 announcement video, I do plan on doing more prizes and giveaways and the such, further down the line, so there'll be further chances to win yourself a prize, I am sure. So let's get started today with the episode itself. So obviously everybody's asleep, so let's just go ahead and crack up the game speed there until we get something to do. I do believe the last episode was relatively quiet. I think the biggest issue we had was a mad ibex that caused a bit of damage, but nothing too serious. We got this little bathroom set up as well. As you see, Gabe's availing himself of our new showers with the hot water and our plumbed-in flushing toilets. Got to be a lot better than sitting on a cold wooden latrine, I'm sure. Now, one thing I'd like to do today to start with is, obviously, I mentioned in the last episode we had no research schedule. That's still the case, so I'm going to go ahead and pick a research project now. In terms of what I'd like to do, I haven't really thought about it. The main one I wanted to get was batteries. Obviously, we have now done that. We could go for solar power, which would obviously augment our power production, although with 2 fully charged batteries, I think our base can sustain its electrical needs, even if these were to stop producing power due to a lack of wind. Let's just have a quick scroll through, and we'll probably pick it back up once I decide what it is I'm actually going to go for here. I'm thinking perhaps we go for human sacrifice. That will allow us to dig into the occult side of this playthrough a little bit more. Obviously, we have our little temple set up. That will obviously be modified, expanded and beautified, and have its furniture made more appropriate, shall we say, as time goes on. But for initial place to go and worship, it's going to work quite well. As I said, human sacrifice would dig into that occult side of things a little bit deeper, which could be quite interesting, and it would also give us a valid reason to capture any raiders who we happen to down. Obviously, we've already captured Bourne and managed to recruit him due to his, is it Dark Knight or Death Knight expertise, which could come in handy. But any others who we manage to capture who perhaps don't fit the bill to join the colony, we can go ahead and offer them up as a sacrifice, which is going to earn us a lot of favour points with our chosen deity, Shib-Niggurath. So I think, yeah, we'll go for that. This research is conducted at the Occult Research Station, which at the moment is located in Bourne's bedroom. But somebody will get round to that. It looks like Gabe's going to make a start now. Another quick thing I'd like to do today is this butcher's table, as was correctly pointed out in the comments, and I am aware of this, it's having a very negative impact on our cooking ability, and it greatly increases the chance of our pawns getting food poisoning when it's in the same room. So what I think I'm going to do is, if we just throw down a quick wall somewhere around here, and then, or in fact, it could even be even smaller somewhere up here. We only need a small room for this. It's just going to contain the butcher's table and not much else. And then we could relocate that so it's technically in a separate room, and that should improve our hygiene in here and cut down on the amount of times we're having to deal with food poisoning. So I think we'll do that. So first of all, we'll get rid of that campfire. We don't need that to be left there anymore. And let's start producing or constructing the wall. For the materials, we still have quite a lot of bone available, so we may as well use that. And as I said, let's put a quick wall across there like that. We need a door, and again, we'll just use the bone for this. Something like that. And then we can reinstall this in that room there. We'll take the stool as well, like that. We're probably going to want some lights in there. I'm not sure if our power conduits reach that far. If they don't, then we're going to have to lay some more down, but that's not a problem. Got 700 units of steel, so we're all good on that front. As we can see, we can just about squeeze in a light there, and it will connect to this conduit down here. Once this wall's constructed, I'll probably go ahead and put another light along this wall somewhere, because as we can see, that is also able to connect to the existing conduit, so that's going to save us a little bit of steel. Obviously, steel is it's not a renewable resource, but it's quite readily available, so it should not take us too long to replenish our steel reserves if we need to. Okay, there we go, that's the wall chucked up. Let's put that extra light down as discussed, something like that. And I think what we'll also do, is probably not a bad idea, to go ahead and chuck a door down on this wall as well. Because we tend to dump the carcasses in this dumping stockpile zone here outside the temple, it'll just allow quicker access for whoever's doing the butchering, so they don't have to come all the way through our main room here to access the carcasses that they're going to be turning into meat. So let's do that as well. Okay, there we go. So that's another means of exit and entry into this little room here. Probably, actually, now that I think about it, not a bad idea to put one here as well, because then they have direct access into our stockpile zone up here, which could be very beneficial. What do we have here? We have a combat supplier from Southern Hatsibarium. Let's go and have a look at these. Whether they make it to our base or not is a different matter because of the cold temperatures. It's negative 23 degrees, but we'll see what happens there. How are we doing on the old meat front? We got a fair bit, but you can always have a little bit more. So what we're going to do is get some hunting set up, and we'll hunt the 2 elks and the ibex doe that currently populate the map. Another thing I'd like to take care of today is sorting out some sort of defensive structure here. Obviously we have this wall here to prevent any access through this way, but this is very open to any enemies or man-hunting animals that want to come and have a go. So I think what we'll do is we'll chip away some of this rock here, give ourselves a nice wide area, and then just have a few walls across here with some traps laid down, and that should give us the level of protection that we need. In fact, for now, we don't need to chip away the rock face. I think we're going to be okay as we are. So what we're going to do is very simply something like that. That way any attackers or wild animals have to come in through here, like that. And then if we have a few traps in here, it's going to help give us that extra level of protection. So we want the steel spike traps for this. And we're going to have one there and there. And then we'll chuck a couple more down in the halfway point of the corridor, just to give us that extra level of security. What we can also do, just so we can get to those traps to rearm them, is put a few doors in, and that'll allow our colonists to way in and out without having to risk triggering these traps as well, which is always good, because there is a small chance they could do that, and that's the last thing we want to have happen. So Born has been initiated into our cult, which is good to see. Obviously we're doing the twice a day worship every 3 days. Not everybody's attending the sermons at the moment. For example, Gabe has busied himself with the research, so he wasn't involved in the latest sermon. So we just have to make sure his cult-mindedness doesn't drop too much, although given the fact he's researching at the occult research table, it shouldn't be. And let's just check that. No, his cult-mindedness is full. Let's just have a quick look through everybody else's, make sure nobody's dropping too low. Okay, so the lowest is Born. And as we saw, he has just been initiated, so that should start to rise, providing he continues to attend in the sermons that we're hosting, which he should do. I think the next stage for our defensive structure down here is we're going to have some sort of kill box in this area. We've got quite a lot of flat area to work with, and we could use embrasures to provide firing ports for our colonists who could take shots at any attacking enemies as they make their way over this area. And we could also dig in some trenches, lay sandbags, that sort of thing, to make every effort to slow down any attackers, give our colonists enough time to get as many shots off as they can. That's obviously going to keep our colonists nice and protected. We finished the research of human sacrifice, as we just saw there, so let's decide what we want to go for next. I may go for tree sowing. That way we can set up our own little orchard to have a decent supply of wood. We're not using much of it at the moment now that we've switched over to our heating systems and we have an electrically powered stove rather than having to use a wood powered stove, but it's always nice to have wood on hand. I think what we'll also try and do is set up some sort of greenhouse as well. We have plenty of space available to us. And for example, if we just built a nice structure here, we could have it heated through our central heating system. Oh, who's our break risk? Let's have a look what's going off here. Okay, you're still upset that you were rebuffed and your proposal was rejected by Q. And you're also upset that you're sharing a bed. Well, in that case, Gabe, let's put you into the single bed here, shall we? That's at least going to help the situation. There we go. So Q's the lucky one. She gets the double bed. Gabe, you're relegated into the single bed. But as I was saying, if we just put up a quick structure here, we could keep it insulated. I think we have access to skylights already, or we may have to research them. Let's just have a look here, see if we can find them. Yes, here they are. We do have skylights. To make them we need glass panes, which are made at a smelter, so we'd need to construct a smelter for this. But that would keep the heat in while allowing the sunlight to come in, so we wouldn't have to use sun lamps, which are a massive power drain. And then if we chuck a few radiators in there, we can set the temperature high enough to keep it so the ground doesn't freeze over during the cold snaps, such as right now. And if we keep it around about just something relatively mild like 10 degrees, that'll be enough to allow us to grow some crops in there all year round. So that's one very real possibility we could look into exploring next. As I said, however, to do that we are going to need to have a smelter. So we want an electric smelter because we have electricity, so we may as well use it. And temporarily we'll put it just here. Eventually a lot of these production surfaces will go into a workshop, but in the interim they're going to be fine where they are, I'm sure. At least gets us started and gets things up and running. There we go, so that's the smelter. So if we wanted to smelt glass, it does cost steel. Okay. We have another steel vein here which we could mine out. We've used about half of our steel reserves that we started with this episode, so we do want to be mindful of it. And I think we will go ahead and get that mined out. As we can see, the entire ore vein is quite large, and that should keep us well stocked in steel for the next few episodes at least. In the meantime, let's go ahead and start the smelt glass order, and we'll go for the 4 times order, and I think we'll go for 6, why not? That will give us 24 glass panes, which should be enough to create some sort of skylight for our indoor farming area. Could do with some more bones as well. We only have 83 because I was just about to expand this and square this little room off. That way we can start putting down dedicated kitchens and dining rooms and the likes. However, as I said, 83 bone probably isn't enough to cut it, so we're going to need to slaughter some more animals. What do we have here? Dewan and another desperate refugee are approaching. They say that crop blight starved them out of their village. She wants to stay for 16 days. They offer to work and fight during that time. We do have human sacrifice, so we could just arrest them and sacrifice them if we wanted. There would be 2 of them. They're not part of any faction, so we could do that without any sort of diplomatic consequences with our neighbours. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's do some human sacrifice. We've just researched it, so why the heck not? Here they come now. Dwayne and... is that Dwayne or Duan? I suppose it's dealer's choice. I'm not really sure. But yes, Dwayne and Badger have arrived. Let's take a look at them first. 16 social skill. Well, that's quite interesting. They're part of the Zodiacal Doctrine. Obviously not affiliated to any sort of faction, as we saw. Badger, artistic, nice intellectual skill, decent shooting and melee, and a decent social skill as well. Also, level 5 mining's not too shabby. Sounds like something's just died. Not sure what it was. It might have actually been, yes, it was a bunny over here in our trapped area. Oh well, that's more food for us, I suppose. And I've just noticed there were a few more ibex down here. So we are going to get them all hunted up. 4 elk, 2 ibex. That'll give us more bone, so we can do some further base expansion using the bone. Back to Dwayne and Badger. I think what we'll do is we'll get somebody to come and arrest them, although we're going to need to construct a rudimentary prison area to house them in, awaiting their sacrifice. Okay, so what we're going to do then. Orders, we want mining. And our prison area, temporarily, in fact, we'll just chuck it in here. In fact, no, we won't put it there. We'll put it over here. And we'll just dig into the mountainside a little bit. And just dig out a few rudimentary rooms like that, where we can chuck a door down as a prison cell. In fact, wouldn't it be ironic if we got our 2 visitors to be the ones to mine out their own prison cells? So we'll set them to high priority mining. Okay, so I've had a cargo pod drop, just dropping a formless matter button down shirt. Not gonna worry about trying to save that and bring it back to our stockpile zone, so we'll just completely overlook that, I think. Notice the trap got reset automatically, which is good to see. Somebody's been down there to take care of that for us, which is nice. Q, you're not in the best of moods here. Awful barrack, we didn't inspire, or we didn't satisfy your inspiration, and you had to rebuff Gabe. Oh, well, I do apologise. What do we have here? Shuttles crashing nearby, so there's going to be several survivors, or several corpses, about to rain down upon us. Let's see what we've got. We've got 2 dead and 2 survivors. Let's just quickly pause it and take a look at these survivors and see if they are indeed worth saving. Not really, I wouldn't say. And certainly not with the creepy breathing and incapability of performing dumb labour. So, no go for you, Amaya. How about Baker? Oh my word, you're not... dumb labour again. And caring. Plus the jealous trait is always a bit of a nightmare to handle. So again, we shall not be rescuing those. We will haul back the corpses of their friends, however, and we will deconstruct the shuttle chunk as well. About your clothing, actually, is anything worthwhile taking? No, not really. So we'll leave them to perish, and once they have perished, we'll haul Amaya and Baker back to our base. Oh, Amaya has actually made a recovery, which is interesting to see. We have the Royal Ascent quest, which we're going to completely disregard. We wouldn't be able to complete that mission at all, so let's not get hung up over that one. So Amaya has actually made her way off of the map, which is interesting to see. Never mind, we've still got 2 corpses and the soon-to-be corpse of Baker here. So, not a bad haul from this little crash. We're having a sermon here. It looks like a lot of people are gathering for this sermon, which is good to see. Even Dwayne and Badger. Don't think that's going to save you, because it's really not. Badger's developed hypothermia. Not overly bothered by that. And they have been initiated into the cult again. That's not going to save you. Q has given birth. I'd completely forgotten that Q was pregnant. So, who do we have here? Quinn. Anita Quinn. Let's have a look at you. Decent shooting, or at least got a passion for it. Construction and cooking and mining and plants and animals. You are a pretty decent pawn. Hopefully there's nothing too alarming in your traits. Creepy breathing's never great, but oh, it does agree with the Cult of the Old One meme, so that's interesting. And the kind trait disagrees with the Cult of the Old One meme, so you're a bit torn there, are you, Anita? Now, obviously, the problem with Anita is she doesn't have any clothing, but she is going to equip a blue fur pelt coat, as we can see. So the first thing we want to do then is sort out Anita's work schedule. So Anita Quinn. Firefight and patient, always highest priority, as is haul plus. If I tell you to haul something urgently, I want it doing urgently. Let's have a look for everything else here. So cooking level 3. So not the highest skill, so you could inflict food poisoning. But given the fact that you have double flame, you will improve your skills quite quickly. So we will set that to high priority. Hunting, well, we need to give you a ranged weapon, which we don't have at the moment. So we'll leave that for now, but we'll come back to that one. Construction, yes, you might botch it with only 4 skill level, but again, the double flame and passion means you're going to pick it up pretty quickly. Mining, level 2. You also had a passion for plant work, so we'll set them to level 2 as well. Despite the fact you have 0 skill level in there, you'll pick it up nice and quickly, I'm sure. And we'll give you we'll keep level 3 research. We'll set cleaning to level 2 as well as hauling. And art we shall get rid of. So there, Anita Quinn's job priority set up for now. Couple of visitors on the way, and they do have items to trade. Let's get Q over here. In fact, are you all the way down there hunting? If you are, we'll leave you for now. No, you're not. But you're about to go hunting. Well, on your way, just have a quick trade. So we could sell them the components. Don't want to be doing that. We could sell the unrefined magicite for 207. Obviously, they don't have enough to cover that. But if we were to pick up, say, a makeshift rifle, that would still net us a profit of 23 silver while getting a rifle. Is there anything else we want to get rid of? Well, these are either poor quality or degraded. So I think we will sell these items of clothing. We'll keep the lab coat. Yes, how's that? That'll leave us with 1 silver, but we'd pick up 4 items of medicine and a makeshift rifle while getting rid of some of our clothing and the magicite, which we're not using yet. And it's quite easy to come by in my experience, so I've got no problem going ahead with that trade. So let's get Quinn to assign this rifle. When I say assign this rifle, I do of course mean equip this rifle, and then haul the medicine back to our storage room. Are you taking the PP? Badger has managed to convert Izzy. Right, Badger, you're getting arrested immediately. That is That will not do. Not do at all. Right. Who's the best chance of arresting Badger? Let's see. 68%. Q 100%. Okay, so arresting Badger has turned Dwayne hostile. That's to be expected. It looks like Dwayne's only armed with an axe. So let's get Q, first of all, out of harm's reach. It looks like Quinn is taking some shots. So Quinn, get down here. Bourne, get down here. Gabe, get out here as well. There we go. Did they die? They did. Never mind. So they won't be getting sacrificed, of course. Badger will. Operations. Add bill. Let's see how much conversion you manage to achieve when you have no tongue, my friend. Q, you need to tend to yourself. Who is our best doctor? I can never remember this. Izzy. Okay, Izzy, tend to Q. Why is Izzy drafted? I didn't mean to do that. Izzy, can you also operate on Badger? Removing body part. Surgery failed. Oh my god, what have you done to him? Not that I really care. Let's have a look. Purple Badger, health. Oh, we shattered your jaw. Oh well, isn't that a shame? Anyway, you're going to get patched up now, which is fine. And then we'll just leave our colonists to take care of their own needs. Obviously, as we saw, Gabe is very, very annoyed. He's just being completely crushed by the marriage proposal getting rejected by Q. What else can we do to you? Oh, administer Irish coffee. Never seen that one before. Artificially impregnant. Well, he's male, so I don't think that would work. You could try taking a kidney or a lung. Yeah, I want one of your lungs. Give me your left lung. I'm not sure whether... Is it Izzy? Yes, not sure whether Izzy has the skill required. Oh, you do. Okay, but you're resting at the moment, so that's fine. Quinn's bed is only half constructed, as we can see, so she's had to sleep on the floor there. I don't know if you noticed that just a few seconds ago. Hopefully her bed will get finished today without any further interruptions. Obviously, we need Izzy to rejoin the cult. Luckily, Q can use the conversion powers. And who's died? Badger. Oh, well, so we're not getting your lungs, unfortunately. So be it. Let's get rid of that sleeping spot now. We don't need it any further. There we go. Okay, so Q. Oh, you need some recreation. Ah, yes, that's right. Well, we'll sort out the recreation issue, and I think we'll end this episode here today. A little bit more interesting than I thought it was going to be. Let's chuck down a horseshoe pin. There. Oh, we've already got one. Let's cancel that. I guess then, just quickly pause this. Q, you are fed up of... Yes, dexterity play, you're fed up of that. Okay, so we need something... Well, so you're fed up with solitary relaxation and dexterity. Okay. Well, if we give you a chess table, 70 steel, let's use the bone for that instead, if possible. Let's have a look. Yes, we can. Bone chest table there. What we're also going to put down is a shooting target. And we'll put this over here. And I think we'll also put down a martial arts target as well, although we don't have enough wood for that. Hence why we need that tree research completing. Did we actually complete it? No, it's still going. Okay, so we've got a lot of tattered apparel in here. Or tainted apparel. So what we can do is, using our smelter, is actually get rid of that. So we want to destroy it, and we want to go to the details And we want to make sure we don't allow clean, so only the tainted stuff is going to be chucked in there. That'll allow us to free up a lot of space in our storage area, of course, which is obviously could become an ongoing concern. As we see, it's getting quite full there. Q is fully healed, which is great, so no ill effects from the little engagement there that she had with one of our visitors, whose name I've forgotten already. Obviously, I'll never forget Badger in a hurry, thanks to his cheeky persuasion of Izzy to disregard our religion. Oh yes, Q, speaking of which, go ahead and have a conversion attempt on Izzy. We've researched tree sowing. We'll pick another project in the next episode. There you go. Shouldn't take long to get Gabe back into the fold. Not Gabe, Izzy back into the fold, which is good to see. And as I said, we will leave it there for today now that we've completed. That's annoying. That is very, very annoying. Well, on that extremely frustrating note, we'll end it there for today. God knows how we're going to get these converted back. We're going to have to assign somebody else as our priest. Who would it be? It would be Amy. In fact, what I think we're going to do is once these prison cells are done, we're going to arrest Izzy and Q so they can't do any further damage. I should have done that with Izzy prior to that, but never mind. It's thrown an extra challenge to the game, I suppose, and that's what it's all about. Thank you, HP Lovecraft. That was fantastic. That's because, of course, the corruption for all of our pawns is low, so they're very, very susceptible to conversion, which is an extremely annoying mechanic. We should have been doing more, incantations to boost the corruption, but never mind. So yes, on that, as I said, frustrating note, we'll leave it there for today. Obviously, we've got a plan to resolve this issue. We are going to be short 2 colonists for the next few days while we get them converted back into our little ideology. And then we can release them with no ill effects, although they will be a little bit annoyed that we arrested them, but not as annoyed as I am that they're going around and poisoning the minds of our colonists. So, I hope you enjoyed the episode. A little bit frustrating at times, but that's all part and parcel of the game, and you just got to roll with the punches. So, all that means for me to say is, as always, ladies and gentlemen, take very good care of yourselves. It's ta-ta for now.